everyone. Today is August 23rd, 2023. It is 6:57 in the morning. I've been up since about 5, but I just kind of laid around. I haven't done anything, not even looked at the TV. But I'm going to get up and get moving here. But I decided to make an entry before I got going. Nothing much has been going on. I did a journal entry yesterday, so not much changed since yesterday. Um, Planning for it. Well, my friend that lives out of town, I was supposed to go visit him, not this weekend, but the following weekend, the weekend of the first. And I think he's coming down here to take me out again this weekend. Hey, you know what I say? If a person really, person really interested in you, they're gonna do whatever it takes to pursue you. So I love it here. It gives me more time to have a little fun this weekend. Yesterday, I got to go see my grandkids, which was really good to see them. My grandbaby, he's about 4 months old. He was so happy to see me, and my 3-year-old grandson was happy to see me too. His grandmother taught him, his other grandmother taught him how to reflect. So she told me when she come home from work, because they live with her, he has like a quadrillion stories to tell her, and they all run together. They take a long time. So what she does is she tells him, his name is Josiah. She says, Josiah, why don't you take a few quiet moments to reflect and collect all your thoughts for the day so you can tell me your story later. When you ask him how he's doing, he's like, wait, I have to reflect on my day. I think it's so cute. He's adorable. He's so smart. I was looking at some of his old baby videos. He's just always been this smart kid. The interesting thing about him, though, is that he called me the other day and he says, Grandma, I had a dream. He always comes to me about his dreams. He says that I understand his dreams. So he came to me about his dreams and he said that he had met God. And I said, oh, really? I said, so tell me about it. He said he was swimming in the water and he met God in the water. And I said, well, what does God look like? He said, he's three like me, but he's silver. And I said, was he a fish, like a fish? He was like, yeah. And I was like, but I thought you said he would look like you. And he was like, he was both. And he was like, he swims in the water really, really, really fast. And he works very hard to save the world. He's trying to save all the people, all the animals, all the earth, all the world. He's trying to save everybody. So now he's convinced that God lives in the ocean. Interestingly enough, I had a dream a few weeks back, may have been a few months ago. I had a dream that um, these extraterrestrials, I'm not going to call them that no more because I think they live here, but we'll just call them aliens, whatever. They were here. And like they didn't come here from out the sky, like they were already here. Some of them lived in like the jungle, some of them lived in the water, some of them lived in the mountains, some of them lived in the Arctics, and they were just coming out from everywhere. It was like tons of them, and they were trying to save the earth. So what they did in my dream, man, this is probably a movie somewhere. Who knows? I think I saw a movie like this. It's kind of like maybe like that movie with Keanu Reeves in it. I forgot what that movie was called, where the alien race came, but they were trying to save the earth, but they was like murking all those people. But in this dream, it's like they separated all of the humans, and it wasn't me. They weren't like evil or nothing, but you ain't mess with them either. Not my dream. My dream was like a movie, y'all. But they separated all the humans into these different. They were like areas, kind of like the Hunger Games. And some people they learned how to use agriculture. Some knew how to make things. Some knew how to clean the ecosystems like the waters, and some knew how to clean the forest. It was just everybody or plant trees. It's like everybody had different responsibilities because they were trying to save the planet Earth. And like those who were like disobedient or criminals are harming other people or harming them, they were killed off. And those who had like infectious diseases, they were taken too. But people with like cancers and stuff like that, they were killed. I mean, they were saved. They were cured. I said killed. They were cured in my dream. It wasn't a very interesting dream. Um, and then I woke up. But the crazy thing about this dream is that I felt like it was real. So I often wondered, like, if something like this happens in an alternate reality where an alien race, comes and tries to save the planet. Because in my dream, it was their planet too, and they lived here and it was their planet too, and they had been here just as long, if not longer, than we have. So that was an interesting dream. So a lot of people are having dreams about extraterrestrials. So just to hear, a little child, a 3-year-old, come and tell you that they dreamed about one, that he called God. I think that's very interesting. And I mean, not this. It could have been his subconscious, physical representation of God, but the being he described was definitely an extraterrestrial, in my opinion. Because I don't care what nobody say. I think there's other civilizations under here, like under the earth, inside the earth, or under the ocean. Places that we can't necessarily get to. And just because we can't get to them and we haven't seen them, or because science says this, that doesn't mean that things can exist like that. You know what I mean? So I think that they're just. I think that the Earth hasn't been 100% discovered, and there are other, races of beings here that already live here. There's probably other races of beings that look like humans, and they just blend in with us. And they ain't really from Asia or Japan. They from, planet X23674. You know what I'm saying? 8 light years away. You just never know. But anyhow, that's all my mind's been on. I've also been reflecting on other things like work. Um, I always wanted a career that gave me the freedom to move around like I want to move. And my job does that, but it doesn't. My position does that, but it doesn't. Like, I haven't taken a vacation yet. We're getting towards the end of the year. I told my boss that I was waiting for the state survey to come in because I would like to take some time off in October. I don't want to take time off and then they come in. So I'm thinking about a career switch. It's just that I've been in healthcare for so long. Have you ever done something so long you don't know what else you want to do? Well, I've done healthcare for so long, I don't know what else I would like to do. So it's been something that's been on my mind. Definitely, look, I just said I've been in healthcare for so long, I don't want to do it. And then I'm sitting here thinking about hospice and end of life care and taking care of the sick and the dying. I mean, I kind of do in the elderly population, but I really want to gear my energy towards, people that are definitely at the end part of their life. You know how, like, sometimes people focus on birth. I want to focus on death and transitioning there because I've been there. I know that it's not as scary as people think it is. I know it isn't. I remember, my near death experience, and that was probably like the most peace I ever felt my entire life. I didn't see anything. I think I talked about it in another episode before back then, but you know, I didn't see anything. I just kind of floated off into nothing. And it was like it was nothing. It was like it was nothing but I was just consciously aware. It was a void. It was like a black hole. It was like the blackest of the black, blackety black. But it was just nothing. I can't describe it because it was like darker than black. It was just like nothing. It's like I don't know, but I was consciously aware that I was a part of this blackness. I was a part of nothing, and I just floated there, and it felt like home. I felt like I was where I was supposed to be. I felt like I had always been a part of this blackness, this void, this nothing. It was just I was just there. It wasn't no panic or nothing. And then I was floating. Then I saw this bright light. And then I remember moving super fast and waking up in the back of the ambulance. So I mean it was quick. It was quick, you know. But the crazy thing is I have a feeling that I had an interaction with another spiritual being before I came back or something. And I just don't remember because sometimes I get bits and pieces in my memory of speaking to someone or something or some entity about something before I came back. I just don't remember yet. But like sometimes I'll dream about it and I'll catch a conversation. But I do know that I was never the same after that. Like my life, put it this way, before I happened, I was going nowhere fast. You know, I kept having kids. I was in this crazy, toxic, abusive relationship. We were fighting all the time. Um, my life was just, I don't know. The I was making very little money, struggling. Really didn't want much. But I think after that situation, when I woke up, I just naturally began to change. I'm telling you, a lot of people struggle, even though nobody wants to struggle. Struggle be your best teacher. It kind of pushes you to move in a certain direction. You know, struggles would push me through nursing school. Struggles would push me to become a better parent. Struggles would push is what pushed me towards my spiritual path. You know, struggles what pushes me to stay on it. You know, and just after that, my life changed. I shortly after that, I went back to nursing school. You know, I started, and it took many years for this. Mind you, I'm about to be 41, so this was 20 years ago. So it wasn't like a change all of a sudden, but these are all. I think that situation right there kind of led me into. It was kind of like a push to change direction, cause the relationship I was in after that situation, I never felt the same way about that particular person I was with. It just I just started to see things differently. It's like, like you've been wearing the same glasses for years, and over time your eyesight changes. And I put on a new pair of glasses, and it was just like I didn't see them the same. So I think that that changed my life. And back then, I didn't even look at it as a near death experience. I just thought I took a nap. Um, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know what I thought. All I know is that I couldn't breathe. And when you die, it feels like a curtain is closing. It feels like a curtain is being like at the end of a play or a movie, and they have the curtain call and the curtains pulled down and it's complete black. That's what it felt like. It wasn't scary. It was scary on the way there though, because I couldn't breathe. I was panicking. Um, I was anxious, and then as soon as that curtain closed, it was just nothing. It kind of gave me an all new understanding of that last breath. That like if you ever seen anybody pass away, they take one last breath, and it's like a release. Like I feel like that's your spirit being released from your body. Now I don't remember seeing my body. And another interesting thing is, even though I was gone, I was aware that um my boyfriend at the time ran in the room. Um, he screamed and he cried. He's like, "Oh my God, my baby!" Like he came in the room. He's like, "Oh my God, my baby!" Because remember we were fighting at the time, and he was in the back of the complex. We was fighting, and he wouldn't come back because he thought I was lying just to get him in the house. But I remember that he was like, "Oh my God, my baby." And I'm aware of the ambulance drivers. Like I can describe them to you. Like walking up the stairs and rushing to grab me to put me on to get me outside, put me on a gurney to get me outside. Since I had steep steps, they actually carried me downstairs, which I was only like 125 pounds back then. He actually picked me up, carried me downstairs, and then put me on a stretcher. I'm aware of that, but then nothing. So it's weird because even though I was in this space and this void and I was happy, I was also aware of everything that was going on, like being loaded into the back of the ambulance, and that's when I came through. So after that, I did truly believe that our awareness can be in like more than one place, if that makes any sense. Like you can be aware of what's going on with you, but you can still be gone at the same time. I can't explain how it works, but that's probably maybe I was omnipresent. You know how like they say God is omnipresent, which in reality that's just because we're all products of his essence, his or her, of God's essence. That's what I believe. We're just a product of his or her essence. You know what I mean? So like, and that's prime example, like how your body works. If you're running, your heart's aware that you're running. Your heart's gonna speed. It's like your body's aware of what it's doing. Like right now, my brain is telling me to have this conversation with you. My brain is omnipresent. So as I'm having this conversation with you, I'm moving my hands around because I talk with my hands, and I'm moving my head from side to side because I'm sassy. And so I'm talking with my body. I'm doing many things at one time. So I think that we can be present. I believe. Matter of fact, I know we are present in many places at one time. And look, I done talked about like 6 different things. So I'm gonna hop off of here. I think that the term I think I want to talk about this one day because I came up with something about past lives. Ah, I don't like the term past lives, but we're gonna talk about this next time. Not next time because I'll probably forget the hell I want to talk about, but I want to talk about past lives because I'm starting not to believe in past lives or lives I was before this one. I think like all of those lives that I've seen, no matter the time period, I think I'm having them all now. And it's funny because I can feel when I have, y'all gonna think I'm crazy, but I could feel when I have passed away in the past life. It's just weird. I just know, and it's crazy because a part of me kind of grieved myself that passed away in that life. So I feel like they all run concurrently, and I wake up sad for no reason. There were times where I've had dreams that I went to my own funeral. So I feel like this is interesting. Um, yeah. But anyhow, I'm getting ready to go. It's all love. Love on yourself. I love you. 11 times in the morning, 11 times at night. Do things that you like. Enjoy yourself. Go out on dates if you single. Don't close yourself in unless you choose to. Be in solitude for a while. Y'all know me. Y'all been with me over a year now. I've had many a moments of solitude. And I've had many of times where I've liked to go on dates and stuff like that. Um, I think I am leading more towards a more serious relationship. So I'm starting to date more seriously. And the funny thing is when you put that out in the universe, they start to send people that are more serious about you. So I'm looking forward to that. But anyhow, I love you all. Enjoy your day. Until next time. Peace.